Hey guys, I'm Bailey Gusner. I'm a model here at Philly Flair. I'm here to show you guys today my makeup tutorial. This is kind of my everyday regimen, my everyday look. I often wear this look for a lot of the photo shoots. I am a hairstylist here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I'm gonna start with my primers. Primers are great for keeping the foundation on longer. It's called Evermatte Poreless Priming Perfector by Becca. And I like to do this guy kind of all over my forehead. I just kind of keep it in my T-zones just because I don't need primer where my face is not oily. So I actually use a different one for underneath my eyes. I get a little wrinkly underneath my eyes, but I still like that matte finish. So this is by Perfectly Posh. It's called Under Wonder Matte Finish Pore Primer. And it's just a velvety kind of wet finish. And I do a little pea-sized drop underneath my eyes. For foundation, you guys, this is my favorite foundation. I have not switched. If you do not like full coverage, you're not gonna like this foundation. You have to play with it a little bit, but it's my absolute favorite. It is the Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation. And I kind of start doing an even surface all over my bottom half at least. And then just kind of spread it around. You can tell that it's super full coverage. Also, I was going to show you guys, I'm using a silicone sponge. I stopped using a regular sponge, like one of those blenders. And a lot of it is just because those soak up so much product. Being a blonde, I actually have to be very careful about my hairline. So I have to go through and pick up my hairline a little bit. Looks like it's pretty dang good. All right, I know everybody kind of has their own regimen as far as their makeup routine goes. I like to jump into my eyebrows next. For brows today, we're gonna use the Anastasia Dip Brow. This is my favorite pod. It lasts forever if you like to really shade in your brows. I start with the underneath and I really start with that bottom brow line, and I just kind of start with my arch. I feel like it's an easier way to kind of fill it in later. Hopefully you guys can see me do it. And I just start with like little strokes, and it's not a race. Take your time doing your brows. I will have to recorrect them probably 50,000 times before I even get them to be the color or shape that I even want them to be without them looking crazy. And the tough thing is to make them look the same every day. So again, it's not a race. Okay, so I do start my eyebrow. You can tell that I don't finish all the way in this inside, and a lot of it is because I'm gonna kind of ombre or brush out this middle piece or my center of my eyebrow here, just so that way it's not so harsh. It kind of blends it out, that way it gives it more of a natural look to it. And that's how we start to get that little fade, is I just take my brush, I kind of just like pick it up and bring it back over again. And that's why I start to the side here, is because it's gonna blend it into that little area anyways. And so now you can see the difference between the brush and when we don't brush. And that's why I leave that harsh line, because now we're just gonna blend it out. So what I do is, this is my Bye Bye Under Eye. Can you guys see? It's by IT Cosmetics, it's a concealer. I use this for my under eye, but I also use it for underneath my eyebrows, and it really helps define the shape. And the brush that I'm using just for the underneath my eyebrow is Max Coverage Concealer. It's just a makeup brush by Bare Minerals. So what I do is I take a little pea-sized drop, not even a pea-sized drop. This stuff goes so far, you guys. Like, do not overuse it at all. It'll be a waste of product. But I go through and I just go underneath my eyebrow here. And not only is it cleaning up the underneath, but it's highlighting underneath my brow bone at the same time. So it really kind of is almost an eyeshadow primer itself, which helps a lot when you're trying to get more of a natural look. It highlights that brow bone for you, since you have such a full coverage foundation. My concealer, I would say, is probably a shade lighter than my foundation. I actually do not use my concealer for above my eyebrow, but I go back and I grab my foundation and I go over the top marks, plus I kind of clean up the inner line so I can make sure that my brows are the utmost even. And then I'm gonna follow my nose to my eyebrow here. Do the other eye. Follow the shape of my nose and just go up from there. I do my concealer before I set my face. I'm going back with that Bye Bye Under Eye. It's the same one I use underneath my eyebrow. So I just go ahead, and I normally would put it on a brush, but I like the little beads that it comes out in anyway. So I just go put a ton of little tiny dots. I really like that it gives you a airbrush look. And so I like this little end for like my inner corner here to blend this guy out. And I take it to my cheekbones, because you do like a little highlight up there. It does accentuate, it adds some more features back to your face when you have such a full coverage. That is probably the biggest issue, is adding all these little details back in when you've taken all of them out. Now I'm gonna set my face. This is my favorite setting powder, and it is the All Nighter by Urban Decay. And I just go over everything. I definitely make sure to go over my concealer part well, just because I don't want it to feel cakey later. So I'm blue-eyed. Depending on what color eyes you guys are, I normally reach for more peachier, more orange tone. So I'm using Kat Von D's Light and Shade eyeshadow palette. Biggest steal from Marshall's ever. I reach for these warmer tones usually, if not the neutral ones, but I'm gonna stick with this top basic, just a peachier, orangey, soda pop kind of color. And I just kind of go through as my base. And I'm using like just a really flat, fluffy kind of brush. I really am not too careful when it comes to my base color because I know I'm gonna usually stick something right on top of it. But I just go through in my crease area, even in the inside corner. I'm gonna stick with this palette and I'm just gonna go with this warmer red kind of tone. It almost looks like a brick kind of color. This is another fluffy brush. This is just a tapered blending brush. And I'm just gonna start on this outside pad here. And I kind of just start tapping it in, right where I know I want it. So I start in this bottom corner, I just kind of start with my circles. And then I'm just gonna make my way in here. Little circles, a little windshield wiper, a little circle. And just to intensify it, I'm gonna go over that with the eyelid one more time. And I really only just do that center or this little bottom piece down here on the eyelid. So you kind of want a more V kind of look in here. I don't want that dark to go all the way to the inside. I really want this to stay as white as possible. So I'm just gonna go through and kind of blend out that top layer here, or where all that orange kind of meets my brow bone. I kind of make sure it doesn't go any higher than that. I need to flick the extra excess off here. Okay, so I kind of have my base going on here. It's very small, just little guy. Now I'm gonna take this one underneath my eye and I'm gonna use that same brick color. This one I just got a little bit on. Start in that outside corner. And it's gonna look heavy. It's gonna look very, very heavy and unnatural. And you're gonna wonder why we're putting dark circles under our eyes again, but once we're all done and get mascara on, it all evens out again. And I stay away from the inside corners here because I really want that to be my lighter and brighter. Not until your highlighter. So that's what I'm gonna do next. It's kind of fading off a little bit. It's the Anastasia Glow Kit. It's the Sun-Kissed. I'm gonna go with this brightest one today. It's called Summer. I like this one in my inner corner the most probably. So I just go through and I kind of pat the inner corner. And it just really helps brighten your eyes. And then I take whatever excess is on that and I go underneath my brow again. I just say heck with it with the cat eye just because, especially when you do an eyeshadow like this, it's gonna take you 10 years to do it. So I do stick to something pretty basic. I do use a water liner underneath my eyes, and I feel like that especially helps with how full coverage your makeup is. I like this lash liner. Again, I like Kat Von D. This is my favorite lash liner. If you guys can see it. It's kind of like a hooked kind of deal here. So the nice thing is that when I get to my eyelashes, I'm not actually stabbing it into my eye, but it kind of goes with my eyelid a little bit. I almost kind of put it on like mascara. This one is the Stila. This is another really good brand. You get this one at Ulta. This is another waterproof, lasts a really long time. Yeah, nothing too crazy. Can't do lashes without mascara. My other fan favorite is the Stila mascara. I don't have the box, but the ones that I'm wearing, they get shorter to longer. So I like very baby doll ones, if I can, you guys can see them. Very baby doll, they get very short to very long. I'm gonna do my lash glue on my lashes, and this is just the do-all. I am going to do my bronzer while I let my lashes dry. Everybody's favorite, for as most of I know, everybody loves this Hoola by Benefit. And like I said, because I'm blonde, I actually have to pick up my hairline, but other than that, you're just gonna start going at an angle, and you're gonna try to get that line in there real quick, right in there. And then I go at an angle and kind of blend it out. I pick it up and push it up a little bit higher. Blend, blend, blend. Seriously, just blend the heck away, you guys. If you are doing full coverage, this is all the little details that you need to go back in and add. Okay, by the time I'm done doing that, my lashes are ready. Start laying them on the inside, and then I lay them over. So I already laid them on. Now I'm just gonna kind of pick them up and adjust them where I want them to be. They are still pretty wet, not too tacky. If they're already dry, then you need to let them be kind of wet. They work better if you let them adhere to your lash line. I'm gonna get into my cheek color. I might be old-fashioned, but I really like blush still. I like a little bit of a corally peachy kind of color, especially when I do my orange eyeshadow. So this is called Quirky, and it to me is a little bit more peachier than it is like a rosy or anything. So I'm just gonna go into the fluffy one. I like the angle of this one because it is gonna fit my cheek anyway. I would not go with a fluffier brush than what your cheekbone allows. I'm only gonna pat it a couple of times just to make sure I have a little bit of a color on my cheek. And it kind of blends in my tan a little bit so it doesn't look like I'm just orange. Gives me a little bit of a color. Last but not least is my lip color. This one is my absolute favorite. I wear this one probably for every photo shoot, if not all of them. This one, again, it's Kat Von D. It's my absolute favorite. Lasts all day. It's Ophelia, and it's her Locket lipstick, I think is what it's called. It's matte, it lasts forever. All right, here's my finished look, you guys. I hope you guys learned something today. If you have any more requests, I'm willing to hear them. Different eyeshadow tricks. If you want me to go over eyebrows again, I want to hear all of it.